All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Daniel, and I will be sharing with you my mindfulness journey today. Let me start by explaining my initial situation and expectations for the mindfulness module. Initially, when I went to NUS, I was actually really stressed with schoolwork. Video so that Daniel can have and expectations. And I was unable to balance my schoolwork and my social life, as I was constantly struggling between studying and like hanging out with friends, as I lived in RC4. So there was a lot of on-campus activities, and also there were a lot of emotional issues which I had with my friends in RC, which I will talk more about later on. And the reason why I wanted to join was that I was hoping I could learn ways of coping with my stress from all areas of my life, including my friends, family, and schoolwork. One of the main things that we learn from the course is the mindfulness practices, which really help us to cope with our stress. And this includes a body scan, awareness of breathing, mindfulness stretching, and mindful walking. So there are actually quite a few challenges when I started learning how to do all these daily practices. At the start, it was actually really hard to understand and visualize how any of these practices actually help, because it mostly just felt like I was just sitting there still, and I was constantly being distracted, and it was really difficult to focus, and I had no clue. In fact, by trying so hard to actually get it to work for me, it actually made me more stressed in the process. However, over time, I actually just went with the flow and just let it take over. And over time, I realized that by doing all these practices, it really helped me cope with my stress. And it really just helped me to calm my mind down and help me take a step back to actually see uh, that most of the stresses in my life were actually not that much of an issue. Like, they were actually mostly manageable. It's just that due to my amygdala being activated most of the time, it causes a lot of stress, and I overreact to most of the situations. Hence, actually, I'm not really in that much of a predicament which I initially thought I was in most situations. Now I shall go on to explain the main pitfalls in my whole life. And it actually started all the way back in primary school. So during primary school, I wasn't actually the most popular kid in school. I was actually mostly quite isolated and alone. And sometimes I was also like bullied in school as well. But then things kind of took a turn for the better when I went into secondary school. I actually managed to start making some friends, and some of them were really open, so they just included me in. And over time, the more friends I started to make, the more I realized I really have to treasure all these friendships, and that I was really grateful for all of this. But the thing is, I actually took it too far, and I felt this extreme need for all these friendships and acceptance by my friends that I constantly change the way I act and how I behave around them just to please all of them. So no matter what they'll ask of me or any expectations they will have of me, I will always try my best to actually listen to them and just do whatever they want. And this over time, it started to really hurt me. Even though on the outside, it actually seemed that I was a really sociable person. I actually had a lot of friends in school. However, deep down, I was constantly just trying to change myself to make it seem like as though I'm someone that they can hang out with. So I just do whatever they want. And over time, it really hurt me. And this caused a lot of self-identity issues, as at one point I didn't even know who I was anymore. It's just me trying to be the best person for each of my friends' cases. And I felt that this was really toxic. However, I didn't really do much to address it. And this continued all the way through, even into army, where I wasn't really accepted as well. I was a clerk in my company. and uh, it led to me having to push and try harder to even be more accepted around my um, fellow servicemen. And even going to NUS, the same thing occurred, and it's just kind of went downhill from there. However, I managed to come across this module, like my friend kind of introduced it to me. It started as a joke from how that we could do this course because we didn't have to do Sim. However, deep down, I actually felt that I needed help in these areas in my life. Hence, I went on to take this module. And over time, going through this module, I actually learn the mindfulness practices and all this. And I actually learned how, from the 9 foundational attitudes, that we should always be accepting of ourselves for who we are, and also be non-judging of the people around us, as everyone around us is entitled to their own opinion. And if I am to be myself around them and they do not really accept me for who I am, then they can have their own opinion. And that just means that they weren't truly my friends to begin with. Hence, over the course of this module, I actually started to change myself, and I tried to be more and more myself, like my own personal identity, just doing what I actually wanted and not just trying to please people. And this definitely did lead to some friendships guess drifting apart, as they didn't like the way I was actually acting. I guess they didn't like me for who I am. And these friendships overall, they drifted apart. But as for some friendships, they actually blossomed and grew, because I think they could actually tell that I was putting up this wall, this fake persona. And I guess when they see it slowly tearing down and me being who I am, they actually felt happier for me. And they just, yeah, they did, the friendships with them actually grew, and I'm really thankful for that. Yes. So another area in my life that really benefited from this module is actually my relationship with my family. So initially, back during secondary school days and JC days, I was in the due to it's also related to the previous problem where I tried my best to be please all my friends. So I actually tried my best to study hard and get good grades, which I'm sure most other children and teenagers will experience the same. So I tried my best to score good grades, and whenever I don't do well, I actually really overreacted, and it was really bad to the point that every time I did badly, I'll actually call my mother. That's the first thing I always do. I'll call my mother and just unload all my worries onto her. And I could tell that she was always really worried about me. Like at one point, it was so bad that she had to come down to the school to pick me up because I was really not in a good state of mind. And even though she did all these things for me, she actually loves me a lot, and she actually spoils me a lot by giving me a lot of allowance, everything. But even though she does all these things for me, a lot of the times when I'm stressed, I don't even think about my parents at all. Like when my mom will ask me, "Oh, how am I doing in school?" I'll actually like snap at her because I was really overwhelmed with all the stress in school. I didn't know how to explain it to her, and I didn't want to show that I was struggling, so I just snapped at her. Which, thinking back, it was definitely not the right thing to do. And uh, over the course of this module, Prof. NG actually really put a huge emphasis on having gratitude for our family, our parents, as they have done so much for us. And throughout this module, I actually talked to my mom and actually explained to her and talked to her about all these issues. And then overall, we actually got closer, because I think deep down she also knew that all those years ago I was actually really stressed for all my schoolwork, so she never actually blamed me. But in fact, she was really happy that I actually brought all these issues up with her. And more than that, I actually tried my best to suggest to my family for more dinners, eat more dinners more often, and actually go out and spend more time with each other, even having like mahjong sessions with one another. And we really got closer with that. And moreover, there's this foundation attitude for called curiosity. So I use that to really help me get closer with my family, as it really helps to try to be curious about my parents' lives. So for my dad, he actually plays Pokemon Go a lot, and I I play as well. So I always try my best to ask him about it, talk to him about it, and go out with him, play with him. And for my mom, I always ask her about her office work and how she is coping with work, and how just her general stress and thoughts. And through talking to them about all these things, it actually brought me closer to the both of them, which I'm definitely thankful for. So in closing, I just want to say that I'm really thankful for this module for helping me out so much. My life has been rather rough for the past, I guess, 5, 6 years, where I was quite lost and I didn't know what to do with all these issues that I have. However, by going through this module, I actually realized my priorities and that I should not treat all these stressful things as the end of the world. And moreover, my parents are really important and I should devote more time and attention to them. So I just want to say thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for that sharing. I'm sure it feels like you are really putting out your vulnerabilities there to the world. And I recall you coming into class the first day of the module and seeing how you have transformed at the end of the module. So would you like to say something about how you felt about yourself, your life in NUS on that first day of class?
On the first day, I guess I would say that I was quite stressed already as my first semester I didn't actually do that well. So it starting off on a bad foot kind of hurt me, and going into that I was already quite stressful. Like throughout like the first lesson, I was actually quite fidgety as I didn't have my mind in the right place. Like while we were doing all the body security, I was just thinking about, oh, lessons is gonna get harder soon, and that all this work will start piling up, and yeah, I guess I wasn't really composed and all that. But now it's definitely changed for the better, I guess.
Okay. And are you more aware of the narratives in your mind and how they have changed from uh, the earlier days and what goes on now in your own mind?
Definitely. I realized that all this striving for group grades, everything, although it seems as though I'm just doing it for the group grades, actually mostly it's just to gain the acceptance of the people around me. And then if that's the crux of the problem and it's causing me so much stress, then I should just stop worrying about what people think of me. And then with that, my need for all these good grades and all this high stress would actually just disappear as well. So yeah.
And do you think your parents would love you less if you didn't get such good grades?
Definitely not. It's just yeah. I guess I just think on my part is I think too much. Yeah.